The history of Bodmin Jail is filled with stories of executions, illness, and tragedy. After speaking with Kirsten to find out who or what may be haunting the jail, my team and I spent the evening trying to make contact with the lost souls who still roam within these walls. We definitely got more than we bargained for. Today we're going to speak to Kirsten and Matt Rogers about their terrifying personal paranormal encounters.
I've had this grab feeling on my back, say about my waist sort of area, like trying to tug me backwards.
Given what's just happened, given that there is something here, I think maybe we should investigate this space.
And this was a very emotional time. It was an experience that I will never forget.
It just felt fully charged. It was almost like I came into the building at the exact point of like a residual haunting.
It feels a little bit more serious over here.
I have had many experiences here at Bodmin Jail. They've been very varied. They are full of interesting physical and emotional responses. I'm going to give you some examples of some of the really big ones that have stood out in the 6 years I have been here. The first is a lady, and this was a very emotional time. It was an experience that I will never forget. She was in her mid-20s. She had been assaulted by a group of men, and she'd come to stand next to me. And I actually became involved with all of that emotional response that she had during that attack, after the attack, and the trauma of being put in prison at Bodmin Jail for petty crime. That was a really, really, really emotional moment. It was quite overwhelming at the time. This was in an abandoned part of the building. Nobody else was around, no electricity, no roof, exposed to the elements, and I literally was submerged within her environment.
So at Bodmin Jail, I am the lift engineer for the passenger lifts on site. There's various cells you can explore as you're walking through the wing, and there's a couple of rooms which don't do much at the end. I've walked past one of them once, and I've had this grab feeling on my back, say about my waist sort of area, like trying to tug me backwards. So I've had to physically lean forwards to counteract the pull, or else I would have just ended up falling over. I've had the voices and some other figures at other times, but it's the first time I've been touched here. So I mean, very exciting, but instantly, crap! Someone's got me. It scared the crap out of me. Once the initial shock's worn off, I find it so thrilling.
The next experience I want to share with you is of a little girl. I was stood in a very long wing, full of empty cells, in pitch black darkness. This darkness is the kind of dark where you can't even see the end of your nose. You have no clue what's around you. And it was about 3 o'clock in the morning when I realised that I had to let go of somebody's hand in order to switch the lights back on. And my exact words were, "Oh, I'm sorry, I just need to let go of your hand for a minute. I won't be long." And at that point I realised I'd been holding the hand of a little girl who was in the jail herself as a prisoner. She was there with her family. She was roughly between 4 and 6 years old, and she'd been holding my hand for about 20 minutes. I don't think there's many children in the jail at 3 o'clock in the morning who can physically hold your hand, but she certainly did. And although it wasn't scary and it wasn't a terrifying experience, it certainly made me realise that these things are spontaneous and really do physically have an impact on you.
There is one section down in the naval wing where I've walked in before, and I've heard like a young woman, like, shh. So in another part of Bodmin Jail, they've got another lift, and I descended down to the lower naval wing, and as I've walked out of the lift lobby area and turned left, I saw quite a large figure standing next to the stairs next to me. Again, shocked me pretty bad, and so I've jumped and looked over my shoulder to think, what was that? Gone, nothing there, nothing at all. Well, at the time, in the cells which you can go and have a look in, they've got different models of different scenes of people who've been at Bodmin Jail. And one of the rooms in particular, they have a model of a plague doctor. So I assumed, well, maybe I just saw him. But then I soon realised, actually, no, he was 2 steps out of my vision. So I had to walk 2 further steps before I could see him in the corner of my eye. So stepping back 2 steps again, he wasn't visible to me. So whatever that figure was, I do not know. I've not seen it again since, and I'm here quite often.
To the more sinister, the darker side of my experiences was a gentleman I'd met in the deep basement level of the jail. And this is a very large, thick, heavy-set man. Maybe not of sound mind, which was usual. We have a lot of prisoners who were struggling with their mental health or their ability to understand the world around them. This particular man stood over my left shoulder, and he physically imposed himself to the point where I felt like he was pushing on me. He is overwhelming, very aggressive. He's very physical, he likes to be hands-on. He really likes to intimidate you. It's like he set out to take you down in the jail. A very scary, cold, deeply emotional experience. The most physical experience I've had is of a gentleman, again in the basement area, a very tall chap, not as heavy set as previous experiences. This gentleman actually, if you can call him a gentleman, grabbed me by my throat, pushed me by my chest bone to the wall, and I literally felt pinned. And this was a Sunday afternoon, deep into the winter, freezing cold. There weren't very many people around. Did I feel vulnerable? Yes, because there was no one there to pull me back off the wall. For a second, I didn't know what was going on. Pushed me so hard against the wall with so much force that I physically, even though I'd gone through it in my brain, couldn't lift myself back forward. These experiences are quite rare, but in this case, this experience, this has happened quite frequently in that area, and I would definitely say err on the side of caution with this energy, this spirit. People have been pushed physically out of that space. They've been held onto, they've been almost strangled, the feeling of strangulation, all in the same area with the same energy, with the same force attached to this. Incredible, very scary.
We were sent a piece of footage that shows a ghostly apparition which appears to walk through the depths of Bodmin Jail. Corin and I reached out to Tony Ferguson, who captured this incredible piece of footage, to find out a little more information.
Hi Tony, how are you doing?
Very well, thanks. How are you?
Very good, thank you. Thank you so much for taking the time to have a chat with us. The footage that you sent over is incredible. That was just the most amazing apparition. Could you just run us through what happened that day?
Yeah, the apparition was actually caught in the daytime. We basically went downstairs into the basement. We started off in the basement area, and we were just sort of walking around, and it just seemed like the whole of the basement was literally just come alive. I was being tugged on the back, like it felt like a child chugging my backpack. And then about 10 minutes later, we called out the name William in one of the rooms, and literally the lights just went dim in the basement. But what we couldn't understand is, because I like to debunk things, it's the actual second floor and the first floor, the lights remained on. So we went up to go and see the lady Kirsten, who actually, we didn't know her at the time, but she's actually one of the managers there at Bodmin Jail. just to see if there was any faulty electrics going on in the actual jail. She sort of looked very puzzled as to say no. I said to her that the basement lights went off. She was very intrigued to see what happened there. And then we went back downstairs and we left the actual camera footage recording. And literally the whole downstairs just felt buzzing. That's the best way to describe it. Like there's a static energy in the whole of the basement. And we placed the camera down, trying to sort of debunk the lights and what happened to them. And then as we placed the camera down on the sides, an apparition had just gone, and the actual bottom of the actual basement just walked straight through and just walked across the actual back wall and into another room. Now, the amazing thing about the actual footage itself is that Bodmin Jail have a camera facing down that way, and they can actually validate there's no living person down in the jail at the time, which again just gives it that more extra validation. It's my camera and their camera too.
Brilliant. So when you say the atmosphere changed, was it all of a sudden?
The actual change in the atmosphere pretty much happened from when we actually got down into the basement, but it just basically, for about 30 minutes, we were only in there for about an hour in total. In that hour in total, so much happened. It just felt fully charged. It was almost like I came into the building at the exact point of like a residual haunting where something was replaying itself. And throughout that time, the whole building just came alive. And according to the actual books, a person called William actually died on that day, which made the actual apparition more special, because they would have actually gone into that point just before their death with a priest, I've been told, and had their sort of last rites read to them before they actually were hung and stuff. So that made it more special, because again, it was the death of a day of someone that actually died on that particular day as well. So could it be that person? We'll never know, but it's interesting that it happened on the same day.
So when you say the apparition that you caught on camera, would you say that was the priest?
I've looked at it a couple of times and I've zoomed in, and it does look like a priest, because it's got like a gown. So could it be the priest that's going through to the gallows before the actual hanging? Because it was that area where the priest used to take the actual people that were hung before. So it could be a priest. It's hard to say what it is and who it is, but whatever it isn't a human. And that's for me what was very interesting, because I was very skeptical about stuff. And I still am now, even to this day, because you can always debunk a lot of stuff, and I just couldn't debunk the stuff that happened that day.
It's just incredible. I just cannot get over how clear that apparition is. I mean, you can clearly see it walking across the end of the corridor. So well done for that capture. Take care, Tony. We'll speak to you really soon.
Take care, guys. Thanks very much.
We have invited Psychic Medium Clare Hinks to do a walkthrough of the location, as well as to join us on our investigation. We hope that having Clare with us will help us gather more information about the many spirits of the jail.
Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
Come on in. Welcome
Thank
to
you.
Bodmin Jail.
Thank you very much. Pleasure to be here.
This is the first area that I want to show you for the walkthrough. And we're going to take a walk throughout the entire building. But I just wanted to stop here for a second and see if there's anything that you pick up.
Okay. I'm feeling a male presence quite heavily. I felt it. I feel like it's on my chest, so he's quite heavily present, shall we say. He's got a big presence within this space. And I actually feel like he doesn't just stick here. I feel like his movement is quite powerful.
Okay, can you describe this person in any way?
So I'm feeling unshaven and very broad, like my shoulders feel broad, my body, I feel like thick, like he's got a thick torso. I feel like my feet hurt, so I don't know if he's got, maybe had problems with his feet. My feet they hurt, but I feel clumpy, like boots too.
What kind of feeling do you get from this guy?
I don't feel warm and friendly. I feel like he's got a position of authority, or he's a bit more powerful. I don't feel like he would welcome you in with a cup of tea, put it that way.
Okay.
So he's quite strong, he's quite,
How do you think he's, being a female medium, how do you think his reaction is towards females in this space?
As I came into the space, I don't think he liked it very much. I don't think he was welcoming a female presence in his space.
Every single area in Bodmin Jail feels completely different, especially some of the smaller spaces like this room. But there's a lot of stories of things that people have experienced here, so I'm eager to see what you feel.
My physical feeling has changed here, so I have a feeling of nausea. My throat feels dry.
Okay.
And I feel like I'm passing through this space. I don't feel fixed here, if that makes sense. It doesn't feel restrictive.
A lot of people rush through, they don't feel comfortable in here. They get the feeling like, oh, I don't really like it in here. And then, of course, they transcend through.
I feel really aware of the ground. I feel like that I want to go down to the ground. So I don't know if the level has changed here over the years or recently, but I feel like I want to put my hands on the floor. So that to me is a sign that something's changed on the level or something is going on below.
Okay. And do you pick up on any specific spirits in this space?
Do you know what? I don't feel anybody specific. I feel that physical feeling of, I feel a little bit uneasy, like sick and a bit shaky, almost like I'm coming down with something. Like if you get the pre-flu, you know, and you start to shake, or the sweats a little bit, it feels a bit like that to me here.
Okay.
But it feels like I'm passing through, or whether I'm being made to feel like I need to pass through, perhaps that's what it is.
That's more likely.
Yeah.
Interesting. We're going to carry on down that way.
Okay.
And this particular room creeped me out the most. In this little passage area, there's been several sightings of somebody. And I was just eager to see, perhaps you pick up on this particular person, because apparently it's quite a strong spirit.
I feel like I want to go to the window, and I feel like I want to cry. I feel very emotional here. And I feel a little bit cross-wired. Part of me is feeling like there's a very heavy male presence, but the emotional side of me feels very feminine.
Okay.
So I don't know if there's a bit of a clash in this space, or whether it's changed from over time. But I feel really pulled to the window.
To that corner over there?
Yeah, definitely.
I'm actually going to tell you what people have seen here. There's a tall black shadow person that's seen stood in that space quite often. It's not a very negative presence. It is just somebody that is very, very strong in this area for some particular reason, but it is male. However, we'll carry on walking through because it is sort of connected to the next room.
It's a much more feminine feeling in here.
Okay.
So perhaps the two, as you say, connect. I feel very aware of my fingers in here, like as though if you were scrubbing the floor or cleaning, I feel very aware of my knuckles, like almost red raw knuckles.
Do you think that's from scrubbing, or do you think that's from perhaps?
Not necessarily scrubbing. I feel like your fingers on stone or brick, like I just feel like I want to rub my knuckles on the wall.
What, like you're banging on? Okay.
Like yeah, or just yes, it's that feeling of making a noise, isn't it? Yeah.
Now,
it's hard to explain.
There were people of all ages kept in Bodmin Jail, obviously, over the centuries. Let me know if at any point you feel the shift in the energy whilst we walk through this section. Now, we're going to go to a different section, but I can already see you've picked up something else. So.
Well, I actually almost felt relieved to come out of there, but then I heard the word freedom when I came out here, but somehow I think it's not a very good freedom. I just feel like it's a change in perhaps where what was going on in that particular area compared to this space. So it feels freer in a sense. So as a prisoner, maybe I feel freer. I don't feel restricted, like I'm not in a cell or I would be stuck in one place.
Okay.
There's a bit more movement. That's how it feels.
We'll carry on up here. So this area is quite underrated.
I want to go to the floor again. I want to go down completely. I just don't want this to even be here. This is not, I feel like I don't know whether I should be standing below and this is was one space, or whether something went between. I feel like something's going up and down potentially, so it just doesn't feel like what you see is right here.
I will tell you that there are several levels that go down, and a lot of people have had their more extreme experiences a few floors down from here.
Okay.
But that's no longer accessible.
Okay.
So the going down to below and feeling the energy down there more makes complete sense to this part of the building. This entire area has changed. It's really interesting to having interviewed everybody and knowing the stories of Bodmin Jail and speaking to Kirsten, who's the resident paranormal manager here, and everything that you're saying is kind of fitting into place with all of that, but I also feel like a lot of it we're going to pick up on our investigations this week. We're going to head to, by far, the creepiest part of this location. So we'll head on through here.
Okay. So here I actually feel almost relieved to have air. Like it's like the last place that they are free to breathe air, you know, clean air almost.
Okay.
That's how the sensation. That's what the sensation is for me. But I'm also aware of a man who feels like he's in charge here. And he's, I don't feel evil with him. I think you could judge that an executioner might be evil, but I don't feel that with him, and he hangs back in the back of, he's over there.
Can you describe him in any way?
He doesn't feel like a great big man. I feel like he might have a bit of a presence about him. His face looks quite small, but he's got something over his face.
Okay.
So he's wearing something over his face, but he doesn't wear that all the time. And I don't feel like he's here out of choice. He's not doing this job out of choice. It's because he has to do it for his family. Okay?
To think that this is a place where people met their end, and as you say, it was an executioner's job. It's not that they enjoyed it. It's not that they wanted to do it. And for me, this is definitely the heaviest space. Emotionally, the moment you quieten your mind and you sit here for a bit, you get really the reality hits. One of our team members actually had a really interesting experience in this space. And I want to see if perhaps anything you pick up on can explain a bit about what they experienced here.
Okay. It doesn't feel quite so, you know, when you walk around the rest, where the other places that we've been, the other spaces have all had a feeling for me. Just kind of feel like, oh, this is okay. I don't feel scared here. I feel much more, okay, this is okay.
Interesting that you use the word safer in this space. I'm not going to tell you what it was used for yet, because it does continue on through. So I want to see if you pick up anything else that can validate that.
I just feel like I want to put my hand on your shoulder like that. Like, I do feel like there's a female coming in, and I do feel like I want to put my hand on your shoulder. It's like, you come on, you'll be okay, you'll be okay. That kind of feeling.
Very interesting. Okay, let's take a walk through.
I've got noise here in this space too, like voices, maybe children or female voices. They can sound similar, children and females. It just sounds like there's lots of people singing or shouting. There's a lot of noise in my ears.
So we're going to come on through this side to what is now set up for part of their show and recreation, if you will. But this was a very different space.
I can feel the space in here. Straight away, I'm interested because we came this way, but I actually was drawn straight to this corner. I feel like that I want to go through that wall, so I don't know if that's false or what's happened there. That feels different. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that there's opposite. So was there maybe people opposite each other, like cells, or something's changed in here from what it was originally? Okay, it feels very. I can hear them saying to me, they've changed it, it's all changed. Is this going to sound funny to say? I can hear somebody singing la 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 la, like somebody small, okay, or somebody humming like la 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 la, something like that.
Okay.
And there's a lot of noise about the changes that have been made in this space, not just here, but in this whole space.
So the changes that you're talking about, and there are different layers to this, because there was another prison here, another big part of the prison with cells and that sort of thing.
Okay.
But then it was also the hospital.
Okay.
So the feeling of it's okay, you're going to be okay, is very much the caretaker in this area.
Okay.
A lot of the space further down was also used as the morgue. A lot of this, the levels are all different, so it has changed quite a bit, but yeah. So you would pick up the old jail part as well as the old hospital bit.
Okay.
So very confusing space, there's a lot going on in here, and a lot of interesting reports of activity in this area. This area has changed quite significantly as well, but I'll take a moment just to pause and see if you can pick up on what the space used to be used for. Or anything you might pick up, anything you might think the people experience in this area.
Do you know what? I'm hearing a lot of noise. So like trolleys or wheels on bumpy ground.
Okay.
And other places it's felt quite loud, but I feel like I want to whisper or keep my voice low over here.
Okay. We're actually standing at a crossroad.
Okay.
That would have been a cell. That would have been a walkway.
Okay.
So these are fake walls.
Okay.
This would have come through and there would have been another cell down that side. So essentially, where you see this change in the work here, the stonework, up to round about here would have been a walkway, so you would have heard the cobbles. And you would have heard the quiet on the side, the whispering, the people in their cells and the oppression and that sort of thing on this side. So we're going to go left over here, my love.
Okie doke. It doesn't feel like a joyful place, but it feels hopeful. I feel hope in here.
Okay. And what do you think people experience in this area?
It feels very mixed, actually. I feel like I feel drawn to this side of the room.
Okay.
It feels a little bit more serious over here somehow. So maybe, is there some magic over this side? So I kind of feel like I keep seeing fairies, like fairy magic.
Interesting. Wow.
Okay.
That has not been brought up at all since we've been here. That's really interesting.
There's a lot of magic around.
There is a story of a lady who was imprisoned here at Bodmin, and it was said that she refused to eat. She refused to take any food, and yet she survived for months because she told the wardens that she was fed by the fairies.
Okay. Was she in here?
Near to this area, yes, apparently so.
Okay.
So yeah, it's so strange that you bring up
interesting.
fairy magic, because that is one of the sort of Bodmin Jail myths, that she was a bit of a crazy lady in Bodmin.
Maybe not so crazy.
Was fed by the fairies.
Okay.
My goodness. Did not think that story would come up at all. Anne Jeffries is the woman who claimed to be fed by the fairies. Another prisoner of Bodmin Jail, accused of being a witch, was none other than Joan White.
There's a bit of nervousness going on here.
Okay.
I feel nervous. I feel twitchy and scared. Not like over there where I felt more hopeful. It definitely feels different here. I feel quite masculine here. So there's a male presence around here, and it's weak. Like he feels weak.
Okay.
And worried.
Very interesting. So we'll come on down a little bit further down this way. Wherever you are drawn to, I want you to just...
Over here then. But I feel like I want to put my hand on there, so it's like a little spy hole, but I feel like I want to put my hand on there, and I don't want to turn, so I wouldn't want to stand with my back to that door, like as though somebody was going to grab my neck, or you wouldn't want to look through there unattended, like unaware then.
So that's one of the main things that people experience in this space. Predominantly males, if they stand in front of that door, they feel like somebody is grabbing them and choking them or pulling them back into that cell, that space. So yeah,
that's a really strong feeling.
A lot of people have experienced that here.
I'm going in there. I don't like it in here. I don't like the feeling in here. I just feel like I need to stand against the wall like this, but it's involuntary. It's like as though I'm being pushed against the wall. Again, with the man, I'm feeling quite an intense feeling in my stomach.
Okay.
It literally feels stuck. I'm not moving. This feels... I don't like it in here. What is this place?
Like
it's like pain. Yeah, it feels painful. Yeah.
So that's what a lot of people experience in this space.
Okay.
When they come through on paranormal tours and things, a lot of people walk in here and say they get a really metallic taste in their mouth.
Okay.
Or they will start feeling like their tongue is too big for their mouth, or something's wrong. They start coughing. A lot of people have coughing fits, and there's a lot of physical manipulation in this space.
Okay.
It is a male space. It would have been one of the warder's offices. So women were definitely not allowed in here.
Perhaps that's why I feel pushed against the wall. The male presence in here isn't welcoming.
Not at all.
It's what are you here? Why are you here? Why are you here?
I genuinely would like to leave this space now.
Good, let's go. Yes, it is.
Okay. Well, I'm really interested to have you on the investigation with us this evening. So what we're going to do is just get our equipment ready, start figuring out where we're drawn to first. But you are very much going to lead tonight's investigation in the sense of where you feel it's going to be more active. That's where the team are going to focus. Okay. So if you say, look, I feel like this wing is going to be more of a hot spot, or whichever area you're more drawn to that you want to really check out first, that's where we're going to start. So we're following your lead this evening.
After hearing about some of the stories of what happened here, I am so excited to investigate with Claire. What I intend on doing today is taking some photos using instant film to see if I can get any apparitions or anything that could be around us with Claire in the room as well. We're going to be investigating a lot of different areas tonight, and I intend on trusting my body and how I feel throughout the investigation to see if myself and Claire and the team are experiencing the same thing.
On tonight's investigation, I'm really looking forward to working with Claire again. She brings a different element to how we investigate. And my aim for tonight is really to use the specific equipment that I've got to validate what she's picking up on.
I've just finished my walk around with Clare Hinks, a psychic medium, and she was pretty spot on with several things. We are going to be investigating with her all night tonight, and I kind of dropped the bombshell that I want her to lead the investigation. Wherever she is drawn to, wherever she feels that there is more energy or any paranormal hotspot, we're going to be taking her lead on this. And if she decides that, in this particular area, it might be worthwhile doing more audio or something more visual, we'll be switching between the tech throughout the night and trying various different experiments. And bringing a psychic medium onto an investigation usually amplifies the energy. This building is already quite intense, so having that added energy means that we're going to be in for one hell of a night.
I'm looking forward to investigation with Claire. I've done a few investigations in the past with her and she's come up with some really good information, so I'm really looking forward to seeing what she says. As part of my documentation of tonight's investigation, I'm really interested to see if we can get some EVP verification of what Claire's picking up, and maybe also put the SLS camera on her as well to see if these spirits are drawn directly to her.
I've really enjoyed my walk around today with MJ, Bodmin Jail. I really enjoyed picking up some of the energies, and I'm so interested to go back and see what crops up tonight. There was definitely some very heavy male presence that I felt in the office space and also upstairs. So I'm really looking forward to going back, and I was a little bit surprised. She dropped a bombshell on me and said that I was leading the investigation tonight, which will be a first for me, but I'm really excited to accept the challenge. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
While setting up for tonight's investigation, I picked up on the presence of a child in the room with us. I grabbed a recorder and decided to do a quick EVP experiment. During one of our breaks between filming, we were sat here in the base, getting new batteries, etc., getting ready for the investigation for tonight, after filming the interviews and things today, and I felt like there was an energy of a little boy. So I put the REM pod in that doorway. I kept saying, do you want to play a game? Do you want to play hot or cold? So I'm going to take a step towards you. You tell me if I'm warmer, am I hot, am I cold? And so I did that. I asked twice, and each time I asked the questions, I took a step closer to the REM pod. And then I looked through the doorway, and it was almost like a very strong male energy. Everything changed, and I thought, oh, you don't like playing games. And you hear a child's voice say, he's here.
Am I getting warmer? Am I hot or cold? Am I getting warmer? Hot or cold? How about now? He doesn't like games. Am I getting warmer? Am I hot or cold? Am I getting warmer? Hot or cold? How about now? He doesn't like games.
We were all stunned by this crystal clear EVP. Having already captured evidence that we were not alone, it was time to begin our investigation in the admin block. Okay guys, I'm going to just set this down in the doorway over here, because it's known for people walking through here. So where are you drawn to? What area do you want to be in?
I'm just where I am currently.
You want to stay right where you are?
Right where I am for a minute.
Okay.
I feel, MJ, like I'm glued to this spot. I feel like that I'm not welcome in this room. I'm not welcome here because I can hear him.
So what is he saying?
So get out is what I heard.
Okay, so why don't we try and do some EVP in here and see if we capture that get out on a recorder.
And I also feel like I'm being pushed up against the wall, like pinned to the wall by my neck or my chest.
Okay, so we have a grid of infrared dots all over you from the SLS camera. So you're feeling him with you.
Oh my God, really bad.
Okay, hold your hand out. I'm going to hit record on this recorder, and I'm actually going to step away from you in that case. So you can ask him some questions.
Be sure to leave a few seconds in between.
I can feel you here. What's your name? I can feel you around me. Do you want us here? What do you do here?
Okay, I'm going to stop that recorder and let's listen back to that.
It's all not recorded. And I'm actually going to step away from you in that case. What's your name? I can feel you around me. Do you want us here?
Yeah, there's somebody trying. Constant chatter. Nothing clear enough. So, why don't we try maybe some spirit box with the APF processor?
The spirit box scans through AM and FM frequencies at a really fast rate, about 4 stations a second. This generates a white noise that the spirits can then use to communicate with us.
There's a red light in that doorway. If you go near it, it'll light a different color. It'll let us know that you're there in the room. This device over here, this is called an SB7, and it's attached to an APF processor, which helps us hear that white noise. You can use this to talk to us. We know you don't like women in this space, but we'd really like to find out more about the jail and what this space was used for.
Are you able to at least give us your name, please?
What was this room used for? Could you tell me what you do in here, please?
I'm going to speak. You can't keep me quiet. What's your name?
With no evidence captured using the spirit box, we turn our attention to the paranormal puck and decided to run some EVP experiments alongside it.
Okay, let's try some paranormal puck questions. Carl, it is all you, my love.
Well, the paranormal puck puts out its own magnetic field, and it's this device here. And it controls from an app that you load onto a tablet. Basically what it does is you can ask it any question you like, and if the energy can interfere with the electromagnetic field that's coming out of the puck, it can then select a word. Obviously, initially it will baseline, so it will just say random words for about 5 minutes. And then you can then just ask words, and we've had some incredible hits with the paranormal puck, so I'm hoping tonight we can tie in something through the puck to what Claire's been picking up. Okay. Just going to ask, what is your name?
Did you... What was that? Did you... What was that?
Did you just say something?
No.
Did you hear?
But I heard it.
There's something moving down there.
Oh, it sounded like a sigh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I thought that was you.
No, it wasn't me. I didn't
That,
make a
like-
sound. Yeah, that's what it sounded like, but it wasn't me.
Like somebody like, oh my gosh.
Did you... What was that? Did you... What was that?
And there was a
I
knock
heard it.
through there. Did somebody just shh?
I thought one of you just shushed us.
Yeah.
I thought it was the puck.
No, the puck said some random words, decimal and general.
There was a shh, definitely.
No, there's no word on here that it would starts with that sort of vowel.
There's that. Hopefully we've got that on this recorder, guys. Oh, hold on. There's something whispering over us there. I can't hear what it says. It's like, get out of here. But it's very soft and it's over us, like very whispery.
Okay, what I'm going to say is the question that I asked, the same question you asked, how many female prisoners are here, held here, and the words that came out in case it was picked up on audio, where it sounds like the puck, the words were orange, decimal, hernia and general. So there's not really any words apart from decimal that possibly...
But no, I heard the decimal.
Yeah, okay. Well, the other... Hello.
I feel like I need to check this footage. Do you know what? Let's... Because it seems quite quiet in here, like we're not getting much interaction in here, guys. I feel like we need to maybe go to the naval area. What do you think, Claire?
I'm happy to go to the naval area.
Because I know you wanted to spend time there.
Things seem to be getting a little quiet here in the admin block. It was time for us to head back to base, regroup, and carry on with the investigation. The moment we entered the naval wing, Claire began acting strangely as if it was no longer her. A strong male spirit seemed to be trying to speak through her. This is known as trance mediumship. I needed to remove her from the area immediately.
Thanks. I'm okay.
Right. So, we have jumpers here. Transfiguration is a big thing.
Okay.
So is possession.
Okay.
We've been warned about people dropping like flies in this area. There's something that knows how to get in.
Okay.
So the next time you slump over and look half dead, I might worry.
Okay.
Just a little. How are you feeling physically? Any pain or anything?
No. Just that headache. Just a little bit of a headache. That's
Okay.
all. I do feel really like...
Spaced out?
Yeah. Like, yeah. You know, like really relaxed. Everything feels really, really light.
Like it's not you in control anymore.
Maybe.
Do you want some more water?
Will that help?
Just want to make sure you're okay.
I'm good. I'm good.
Okay, let me just pull myself towards myself really quickly. Because that is one hell of a male energy. In all the time I've known you, that is the first time I've seen that ever happen.
First time it's happened.
Oh, that's the first time it's ever happened to you?
Like that.
You okay? Yeah. Are you okay? Corin? Yeah. Okay, we're all good. How about you guys? Are you okay? Who was trying to do that to Claire? Are you male or female? Righto. Get out.
How about you guys? Are you okay? Who was trying to do that to Claire? Are you male or female? From the recorder, back to the wind howling.
Get out. During the EVP session, I heard a male voice behind me, which was captured on the recorder.
What are you picking up exactly about this?
Just that the feeling I'm getting over here is a man that is quite crude, that likes women. He's like, yeah, come on, like, come on. I feel like that, like he would have his hand on your leg and, you know, like stroking your leg. I feel like that.
You're sitting very close to a cell where a guy has done some questionable things to ladies. I feel like somebody's like looming over me. What is that? We captured a male voice whispering, but unfortunately it's not clear enough to hear exactly what he was saying. I want to try putting some MEL meters and things like you said, Carl. Let's put REM pods and MELs all the way down every single cell door. Let's put some recorders in between. And Claire, I want you to go up and down, see where you're drawn to.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
That went off and so did the REM.
Yeah.
If that was you, can you do that again for us? Light them both up. It's obviously that easy you can do it, you just did it.
I'm just going to hit record on all of them now that I've given them a second to settle. We have placed REM pods and MEL meters in front of each cell. This will help us track any extreme changes in the electromagnetic field throughout the naval wing. Anybody in this wing, we would like to speak with you. We would like to know who you are. We would like to know your crime. Are you guilty? Are you innocent? These devices that we've placed in front of your cells allow us to communicate with you. You can go up to any one of them to let us know where you are. Which cell is yours?
You have permission to leave your cells. Do you want to step out of your cells and join us? Or stand by your door and we'll come and talk to you? I'm sure it gets pretty lonely here. If you stand by your door, one of these devices will go off and it will just let us know that you're there. And then we can come and chat with you.
Where are you being pulled to, Claire?
This way.
Right, let's go.
There's a child in there, you know, there's a statue in there, but there's a child out there, a little boy, pulling me in here.
Okay.
Come this way, come this way.
You want to hold the recorder?
Yep.
I'm going to step out of here. It is recording.
Who are you here with? You can talk to me and then we'll be able to hear you on the little recorder in my hand. How old are you?
Let's play that back.
Recorder in my hand. Your name's Joe. How old are you?
Throughout the night, we keep capturing a male voice. Unfortunately, it's inaudible, and we're not sure what he's trying to tell us. After hearing what sounded like a chair moving, Carl and Alex begin monitoring the far end of the naval wing.
If you stand in front of this camera, I can take a photo of you and then you can see it straight away. You can see it develop. It's really cool. So what I'm going to do is take 3 photos and then they take about 5-10 minutes to develop and I'll come back and I'll show you. Okay? So if you stand directly in front of me, say cheese.
If you don't want to step out your cells, there's a device just in front of me with an orange light on. This is your opportunity.
Okay, at the top of your voice, can you say sausages?
Come and talk to us.
Corin's photos don't appear to have any anomalies, and nothing was captured on the recorder. The activity seemed to end after a small blip on the REM pod. We decided to gather our gear and head over to the courtroom, where Claire was instantly affected again.
Come back, stand up. What's interesting is that the tri-field meter had a 20 milligauss spike in EMF at that moment.
What's that then?
So the electromagnetic field around you was manipulated,
You went up to 20.
Jeez.
which the normal baseline is 0.7 at max in a normal area. 20 milligauss is more than 20 times higher than it's supposed to be. Okay, to have a spike go all the way up and all the way back down at that moment, I mean, just from an investigator's point of view, we know this happens in mediumship. We know that there are people here who are affected in that way. I have never seen you affected like that. What's funny is that Kirsten warned us about it.
Yeah.
This is what we're going to do, because we're in base room at the moment. We were getting ready to go to the execution pit. I think, given what's just happened, given that there is something here, I think maybe we should stick around here just a little, investigate this space while we're here, and then take this young lady to the execution pit, and let's see what we get up there.
For this part of the investigation, we decided to try an experiment. Each of us would try the Esters method. One of us will be blindfolded and listening to noise-cancelling headphones running the spirit box, while everybody else in the room asks questions. We will repeat anything that we hear coming through the spirit box. This method is continued until we are tapped on the shoulder to be brought out of the session.
I feel like somebody's just walked up. There was a female voice, couldn't hear what it said. I feel like someone's just walked up behind me. I'm feeling like a pressure, like in the middle of my back.
Can you tell us the year? What year were you here?
I will play this back now.
We can pull you out, so you better.
What do you mean you didn't pull me out?
We didn't pull you out. I was in the middle of asking a question. You went, oh right, and took your mask off.
I thought you were going to tell us something.
I thought you just tapped me on the shoulder.
No.
While doing the Esters method, I clearly felt somebody tap me on the shoulder to signal the end of my session. When I removed the blindfold, I was shocked to see that there wasn't anyone around me. It was none of the team.
Yeah, what's that? Is that one of you?
I didn't hear.
Hold on. Here, there. Oh. Did
Didn't hear
anyone
it.
say it's okay?
No.
Listen to this. It's okay. Can you hear it? It's okay. Can you hear it?
Can
Validate that.
I just feel like I want to put my hand on your shoulder like that. Like, I do feel like there's a female coming in, and I do feel like I want to put my hand on your shoulder. It's like, you come on, you'll be okay. You'll be okay. That kind of feeling. Can you tell Carl your name?
A very faint woman's voice.
Are you hiding from the man? Is that the doctor?
More. Male voice, but I couldn't work out what it's saying.
As Carl begins his Esters method session, Claire picks up on a male and a female presence entering the room. Unfortunately, no other voices came through during Carl or Corin's Esters method sessions.
Or you can say it into this little box in my hand. Who tried to talk through me? Who was that? Say your name.
There's a female voice that whispers, "Keep him out." Yeah.
Oh, I heard it. I heard that then.
Keep him out. I have gone ice cold. Listen to this, guys. I have chills everywhere.
Was this female voice saying, "Keep him out," referring to the male spirit that had already tried to speak through Claire twice?
We're gonna go now. Can you walk up to that to say bye? As three ladies are going. You checking? I think it's just the wind, because it's very windy out here, my love. Really, really windy out here. Okay, so this is our friend. Her name is Claire. And we'd love to talk to you. We know that this is a very sad place. We're being very respectful. But I have this recorder in my hand. And I'm going to give it to her. And she's going to ask you a few questions if you don't mind.
I know that you're here because I see you over there. And I'd really like to know your name.
How are you feeling here, Claire?
Very calm, actually. I feel very calm. I'm almost relieved. I said that earlier, I think. I feel relieved to get out of those walls and come out here.
It is so cold and windy and miserable out here. Oh, and now it's raining. Great. Honestly, it's so cold and rainy, and it's just too windy to do EVP outside tonight. It's a little too windy. I think we call it a night. It's not worth trying to do EVP with that much noise. I'm so sorry for what you had to do to people and for what people did to you. I'll come back and talk to you. So the entire night tonight has been about this doctor that's in this area. And it's been, he's here, he's coming, trying to get away from him, trying to step away, or that feeling of, shh, he's coming. It's just really bizarre. I think we did say we might change things up and change the location of one of the lone vigils to a different area, partially because of all of the noise, the water running in the pipes, that sort of thing. But I really think that this room deserves a lone vigil. I really, really think that one of us is going to have to spend some time in here. And I think that's going to be tomorrow night, Lone Vigil's night. You guys ready? Yeah. I'm not. All right, let's wrap up. Let's pack our stuff. Let's get out of here.
With the night drawing to an end, we said goodbye to Claire and packed up our equipment. Throughout the investigation, we captured several voices on our recorders. We heard shuffling. We even heard disembodied voices in the distance. The team and I were concerned about Claire, but to have evidence back up what she was experiencing, to have EVPs and EMF spikes validate what she was going through, that's incredible. It's time for us to get a good night's sleep. Tomorrow night, we head into our lone vigils.